So let's see. Okay, I've had a mighty full day, I'll tell you. If I could just allow myself to vent and say every ugly little word I want to about some people, honestly, this is a good thing. One person, I feel so much better, but there's better places, perhaps. Maybe in the future. Maybe when this good news that I'm waiting on kicks in, knock on wood, maybe then. Now, we're going to be very gentle because the road is a very tumultuous place. So I decided to do a brief checkup. This has become my habit. Very irresponsible I'm not a content creator. As someone with a platform, very irresponsible. I decided to go and check, what's that, Saffron? Yo, man, watch me. I'm going to do a Jack Doherty. No, that's not even funny. Do you know what a Jack Doherty is? It's when you crash your McLaren when you're reading texts or comments during your live. Don't drive in live, ladies and gentlemen. So, okay, I'll just type political news on Google, on Bing, on DuckDuckGo, and I'll look at whatever's trending. I like to see the differences. I can't help myself, man. This is not anything to do with like old habits die hard. Remember, I used to really listen to CNN and believe that regurgitated crap that's bought and paid for only for us to have some idea of being manipulated. Like it's so obvious. So they put on this Democratic strategist who's good at predicting stuff, right? And they put him on CNN. He's a Democrat, for one. He's a strategist. And he apparently, I mean, they were hyping him up as being famous for getting these predictions right. Hey, why didn't you predict your way into a better candidate than Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Could have, I don't know. Maybe that would... If I had a horn, I'd be honking it, motherfucker. So they get this guy on. You piece of shit. Stop drinking. They get this guy on, and he's like, okay, so here's what's gonna happen, everybody. The Democrats, all we gotta do is just lay down, keep our heads down, and the Republican Party is gonna crumble beneath their own weight, and they're gonna lose their popularity. It's already evident. Here's the only area that I've seen any challenge for Trump and his namesake. It's one person, one example, and I don't know how rare it is. Someone will have to tell me. A good friend of mine who is very, very Christian, and yes, that element of the Trump presidency, factions that support him, that's been there. That's always been there, right? That always made me nervous personally. Mixing any portion of religion, especially when it gets to hardcore zealotry, with politics, yes, I'm the first one to say, I'm the most uncomfortable person here. But this lady friend of mine I've had since 1996, she blocked me because she doesn't like that I don't agree with her. She said that she didn't like that somebody built a statue of Trump and made it out of gold or gold looking. And she's like, no, you know what? Trump, she's been a die-hard Trump supporter as long as I've known her and as long as I've known Trump to be running. Every post, she's unfriended every account I've had on Facebook back when I was against Trump, and now that I was for Trump, we became buddies again. But then when she got like super, like end times, saying, you know what, Trump might be the Antichrist. I don't know. How the hell do you go from supporting somebody with such a passion, such a fervor, like you, and your conviction, it's there. Your faith in the man was there too. You were treating him like an icon. And now all of a sudden you're like, I don't like that somebody made a statue of him and people are like worshiping it. He might be nonchalantly, he might be the Antichrist. I might have voted for the Antichrist. And she's just like talking about this on her TikTok channel. Her TikTok channel is her doing little life hacks in the kitchen for all you ladies out there, restoring Christian values, and talking about, Republicans dominating the Democrats, yada, yada. But there's this new little niche she's starting to entertain that this is where it scares me. Like, I know rational, religious people. I know them. I know a lot of people perhaps don't like this part about me. I hope that we can just coexist and understand that we're human beings. We just have one tiny little disagreement that should not have any impact on our living of our lives, like coexisting, because it has to do with the afterlife. My opinion of the afterlife is not that of anybody that believes in an afterlife. Me, I preach the gospel of I don't know. I'll go as far as to say I am agnostic light, nearly an atheist. I don't believe in, and I used to be. I've gone through every echelon possible, man. Let's see, I was baptized. My father was Jewish, but not really. He believed in Jesus. Baptized Catholic. I became a Christian of my own volition, and I had a great time, man. Little Christian church in a trailer park here in Florida with rock music. Then they did my best friend really dirty. Then I went on like this journey. I became a nihilist. And then I found this place called Socrates Meetings, and people of all religious backgrounds and cultures would just debate all these different books. And I found myself really, really loving Buddhism the most. Hey, what's up there, Miles? If you know Saffron, it is good to see you. And whoa, you say you had a baby today? Massive congratulations. That I think should be held above all else. Massive congratulations to Miles for having a baby today. I hope this is not some kind of troll. So yes, Socrates Meetings, that's where I got my education. Asking questions is what took me out of I recognize faith and hope as being two distinctly different things. Faith is having a whole deeper, extra level of hope. And I think people that have their faith, like, to me, if you have the true faith, you should be comfortable about what you believe and understand that I just don't believe like you or as you do. And you should have the faith that says you go to a heaven, I go to a hell, and let's live in peace and have a good time while we're on this earth. I've done a lot of, I've read a lot of different religious doctrine, dogma, scriptures. One of the earliest texts we have of the afterlife was written by the Tibetans. The Tibetan Book of the Dead is a huge book, and it gives great detail about what you're supposed to experience in the afterlife. I think it, in part, inspired Dante's Inferno. Did you know in the Christian doctrine, or the Old Testament and New Testament, hell is only mentioned once? I could say that for the Old Testament. And it didn't ever have a description of what hell was like until the 16th century when Dante's Inferno was written, which was somewhat inspired by the first religious text written about the afterlife, to the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And so, yeah, I love just studying that kind of stuff. Something that always got my attention was the similarities between all of these religions. Like, it's wild. If you look at the Egyptian pantheon, I forget which god or deity is ended, but they do the same way that they did Jesus. On the cross, spear into the ribs, done. And it was a sacrifice. There's 3 or 4, it's important to get the number right, but 3 or 4 is what I got to go with until I see my notes. Religions that were very, very similar that predated Christ. So my opinions, which, sometimes people respect me for standing on, my 10 toes and saying what I believe. I cannot have a platform and be afraid of somebody judging me or disliking me for how I think or what I believe. We're all just little specks here with no manual on how to get through this life. We're freestyling, and I hope we just try to make it a kinder and easier process for one another. That's the most I could hope for. And now, so this became a diatribe about, spirituality. But I do have a whole fascination. I'm not quite ready, no matter, I am older, even though I look young. Not quite ready to say I'm full-on atheist, because I do believe there's enough evidence to show some form of structure that resembles something that is not order. There is some sort of an order amongst the chaos, and the fact that we can trace our own DNA, the very essence of what makes our DNA is Miles was a troll. Miles, you've added nothing of significance to the world, uh, and I pity you. But hey, if this is how you get your jollies, this is how you get your kicks, I pity you even further. Saffron is a fantastic human being, and if you are someone that goes out of the way to bother that person, shame on you. Not that it matters, but shame on you. Seriously. Where was I? I I am a miss. I am a miss. Not a mess. Well, we're all a mess. We're all just trying to figure this thing out, right? Yeah, I was gonna say a comment about. Okay, yeah, the structure. Um, yeah, I just don't believe any form of a religion that tells me that God is as simple as a individual, like a man. The whole Trinity doesn't make sense to me. Like it's the bearded guy thing. The reason why I love Buddhism the most is because they practice and preach about finding your heaven on earth, not waiting until the end to reap your rewards. And that's definitely where. What's up, Pitbulls and Twisted? Hold on, I missed a troll who apparently I threw. Okay, yeah, apparently bothering someone who I'm fond of, and let me just get rid of the unnecessary dick. It's so unfortunate that you have to mess with a good person. But such is life. Such is life. Just like every journey that we go through, we're going to find things that are worthwhile, and we're going to recognize the things that are worth passing by and never looking back. So on that note, I know I've been very vague about this news I got because I've learned over the years, don't count your blessings, ironically speaking, blessings, early. But, man, let's just say that right now things are looking good in terms of that great corporate spot I had prior to where I have chosen to go of my own volition. And I thought I was blacklisted, honestly, from this corporation. I called to find out I'm not. So they have a position. My old position is just like apparently waiting for me, and getting back to having all of the benefits, paid time off, and the pay in general, even though I'm doing well. Remember, I am a salesman at my current job, and the commission I'm getting is not terrible. What? I love seeing these little emojis. What kind are these? The smiley faces or the confused faces? Be confused. Oh God, please twist them. No, repent. You must repent to what? To each their own. I respect everybody's ability or to have faith and continue with it. If that's all you got, or if that's what you want, like I love it. What bothers me is like I have a childhood friend from 1996 that we're on and off again, and now we're currently mostly off because she thinks Trump is the Antichrist because somebody built a statue of him, and like that's where any religion that goes to that point and starts to, or any religion that starts celebrating the end times is the immediate turnoff for me. Thank you, Pitbulls. Hey, we all gotta find our own peace of mind. Mine is asking questions and trying to get as close to whatever the truth is. I think, and this is a theory that I read from a great series called The Sandman, huge collection of books. But they canceled the author, by the way. He's canceled. His show is canceled. It was a deity known as the Endless that's been around before any god was made. And this entity had a conversation with a human being saying, humanity, you all already know everything. It's only if you took the time to look inside and acknowledge what you know. And if you did, you'd go mad. You'd go insane. Because if you acknowledge the truth that you possess and you realize all of it just at once, you would go insane. So that quote and that part in the book kind of stuck with me, because it made me think. I think about, look at all the files from the CIA coming out. Oh, my boss brought some stuff up to me. All right, so I stopped following Candace Owens for a while. I love ranting, don't I? Let me turn the AC off. So, there something that apparently, now remember, the current boss I have is Muslim, and I'm the Jewish guy. So on paper, we're not supposed to get along, but we do. Great, we do, fantastic. Me, his family, my family. He told me that the CIA files that Candace Owens is covering apparently has shown that Israel had something to do with, I'm trying to recall, because this was given to me secondhand information. This is not one of the things that I watched from the source or read from the file itself. Israel was involved in a conflict or JFK's assassination. I don't know. See, I don't want to just all flimsily say that without knowing. So clearly, I gotta go and check Candace Owens. And around the last hour that I stay awake, I do check out at wherever I'm at in the JFK files. There's 11,000 pages or more, maybe 1,400. Never gonna finish it. I have no intention of it. But sometimes I find some real nuggets, some real gems. The stuff I shared yesterday pissed off somebody, by the way. Maybe I'll show examples later. Tonight is the night, Twisted. I'm sorry, man. I get so overwhelmed that I don't check the messages, but I saw they're there. Thank you all. I've done my rant aside here. Appreciate y'all. People do overthink religion, and thank you for pointing that out. It's really not that big a deal. I mean, it is, I guess, especially if you start to hyperfixate about your eternal soul and sin and the world's end. Or the bumper sticker I saw today, Jesus is coming soon. If that's all you think about and you're just waiting on that, I don't know what kind of a life it is, but if it's fulfilling, the one not metaphor, the one saying that I always understood, man, if you show me a guy on death row saying, hey man, Jesus is all I got in here, there's no argument to be had. But if you're out in the world, man, you have a vast access to knowledge, and I think it would be almost irresponsible to stay in a bubble and not challenge what you perceive to be the truth. And it is the pursuit of truth that makes life spicy and worthwhile. So, okay, I'm gonna go, even though I think I tried to say goodbye 12 times. Locale Live, please feel free, if you made it to the end here, if you made it this far, leave a random comment about Locale Live or religion, one of the two. I know nobody gives a shit about Locale Live except the 90,000 people subscribe to it. I think Wings of Redemption should be fired from that show and arrested. That's just me. If you have any opinions on that, let me know. Good night. Gone. Take care.